All right. Check it out. What's up, y'all? This is not going as planned. This is like probably the eighth time I hit record on the phone in the last, I don't know how many minutes. Probably like half an hour. I've been standing here just trying to fiddle around with this thing. So I'll just tell you real quick. I was about to go on Instagram Live. I've been doing that. I don't want to say a lot lately, but I've been meaning to do it a lot lately, and I have done it. But y'all know that I've had some issues with social media over the years. My relationship is not the best. My relationship with social media, unless of course you're on the decentralized web. Big shout out to all my Hive users, and I gotta even shout out Steam It. I know some people gonna hate it, but I gotta shout them out. But I've been all right. So where was I going with this? You know what? I told you I'm flustered because I just found out that I'm so the bottom line is I found out that I'm banned. Where's my damn? Hold on, y'all. Oh, here it is. It's in my pocket. Anyway, I'm banned from going live on Instagram, right? So I'm not completely banned. I don't know just how restricted my account is, except I can post and I can post videos, but that's why I was sitting here fiddling with it for a while, because I haven't done a lot of just creating on Instagram. I'm more comfortable going live, just straight stream and just do my thing. But in the past I've done a lot of editing and stuff, but never really. I haven't done any editing since I've been in front of the camera in recent years. All 90% of my editing experience has been me being behind the camera, or directing, or just editing, or as a gaffer or something like that. Going all the way back to when I was a PA. Not a bad gig, honestly. Well, I don't know about now, but anyway. So my relationship with social media hasn't been the best over the years, unless you're decentralized web. And I'm in Facebook jail right now, as a matter of fact. And the interesting thing about that is that this time, what I said was actually anti-racist, right? I saw, and this is the truth, and I probably have a screenshot somewhere. I don't recall, but Facebook keeps a record of it, so I don't even need it. But I saw an article one of the news outlets that I follow had put out, and I don't remember who now. It could have been like Now This or something along those lines. And it was something about racism. I don't remember exactly now which popular headline it was, because I watch a lot of trending headlines and whatnot. And I looked at the comment section like I always do, because I learned this years ago. In the beginning, you kind of get, you're in the comment section and it's more about drama and bullshit and whatever, right? When you become a psychologist and even a sociologist, and this was actually something that my minor was sociology, and my sociology advisor, the chair of that department, shout out to Professor Gambus, my man. He's the one who really opened my eyes to the comment section on social media. He'd been watching them for years, and social media was still kind of in its infancy a little bit at the time, or middle age. And that's where you really get to know a particular group of people. It's a pretty good snapshot of certain parts of the population, and I don't mean like segregating the population according to like say race or anything like that. I mean more like socioeconomic segments, which includes any and all, for the most part, any and all races and creeds and religions and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not entirely accurate. But so I'm in the comment section like I like to do. I just like to study, and 9 times out of 10 I don't comment. Unless it's something really, either I really, really support that comment and I really feel like throwing my 2 cents, or I really, really hate that comment and I really feel like throwing my 2 cents. But these days I've been toning it down. But I got put in Facebook jail over a joke initially, because a friend of mine, fuck you, Mike Wall, had disappeared for a while, and he came back, and a bunch of us were commenting, welcome back, good to see you, this and that. And he knows how I am. Like, I'm a joker, and he's the same kind of guy, like, which is like sarcastic and shit, witty. And so I'm like, yo, if you disappear like that again, I'll kill you. Facebook took that like to another level, and then they then actually reviewed it and were like, oh, all right, it was a joke, and they let me go. So the comment's actually still there, I think. But now, fast forward to why I said I'm in Facebook jail now for 30 days saying something anti-racist, which I would figure would fly. I mean, and the thing is, right, you might be thinking, well, it depends on the tone and how I said it or whatever, and I definitely use some curse words, and I've noticed with social media, particularly Facebook and Instagram, you're not necessarily getting flagged for curse words, right? Just using curses, like, you know, in your, as a mannerism, so to speak, you're going to be all right. But the minute it can be slightly construed by artificial intelligence, I have to say that because it's really not people for the most part that are catching these things right away the second you press, you hit enter. So in that respect, so curse words or name calling or whatever in that respect is likely going to get flagged. And I've noticed it's not even 100% of the time, but if I had to put a number on it, just guesstimating, all right? Don't y'all yell statistic nerds and whatnot. Obviously, I'm just flying off the dome. Maybe 90% of the time is getting caught. And it's not necessarily that you meant it in any particular kind of way, not like towards somebody specifically or whatever. And I believe, if I recall, I said, oh, I do remember what it was. Ha! Yes. So the article was, somebody had wrote like an editorial kind of thing and did some research about being exposed to racists, like, oh, mixed people, so people who are mixed, black and something else, but primarily white, being around their white friends perceived as a white person, and then the racists fly off at the mouth. So I chimed in to say, well, shit, man, that's horrible, but and check this out. What about when you are white? I mean, I'm white and Latino, but like, I'm white. You know what I'm saying? People gonna look at me as white. That's fine. I don't care. I own it. And then you're in a white community or a white household or somewhere. You're surrounded by white people, particularly in jail. And you're white, so they just assume it's all good, and they fly off at the mouth with racist comments and shit. And that sucks. That particularly sucks in certain situations where you shouldn't open your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, you want to. It would be the right thing to do morally, but you're either going to get your mouth slapped off or have some problems with family or something like that. And like, when it comes to family, honestly, I don't want to be family with anybody that's racist. So in those situations, I'll probably just go ahead and say something. Matter of fact, I have. But then that depends too, because I got family members that'll just punch you in the face. So I'm too old for that. Just turned 46 like 2 days ago. Somebody tried to talk me into getting in the ring recently, because I used to box. I love boxing, and I can still swing. I'm out of shape, but I used to be a fighter, like back in the day, like high school, middle school. Like, you caught me on the playground the wrong day, whatever. If you were bullying somebody, we were fighting. If you bullied me, we were fighting. And I threw some swings. I used to train back in the day, and I threw some swings and some jabs and some uppercuts and, bloody some noses and lips and things like that. I got hit a couple times too. But somebody tried to talk me into getting in the boxing ring recently. They're like, bro, you get $1,000 for the fight regardless. I'm like, damn, I don't know if I want to get punched in the face for $1,000 these days, even with gloves on. I suppose I'll try sparring one of these days again and see how I feel. 46 after not doing it for a damn long time is a little. And then some of y'all are going to argue with me, no, it's not. It's never too old. You could be 102, and if you feel like it, get in the ring. Well, and that depends. But this is not why I came. This is not at all what I plan to do today, y'all. It's Friday, and on Fridays we're supposed to be over at New Gen International Farms in Loxahatchee, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, the last couple of weeks we've been skipping it. Some of y'all know Mary was in the hospital for a week or so, a little under a week, but then she had to recover, and then that just like put us behind in a bunch of stuff, and then we're dealing with a bunch of stuff, and You know how it is. You know how it is. I know you know. So so what I wanted to do was go on Instagram Live. Oh, so wait a minute. So I said that. So I chimed in and was like, see, I do this a lot. I chimed in on the Facebook comment thread and was like, yeah. So what about when you're white, meaning me, and you're surrounded by a bunch of white dumbass racists? I said something like that. That's what I said, like dumbass racists or whatever, and then they feel like flying off at the mouth, and got no regard for you. It's disrespectful, whatever. And I didn't think that wasn't a particular. I wasn't attacking anybody in the thread. I wasn't calling anybody names in particular. I lumped a group of people we all should really abhor. We all pretty much agree. Like, well, obviously we don't all agree because there's racists out there, but I mean, like, typically if you're watching one of my videos and you're actually sitting through this bullshit, you can't be racist. If not, or please turn this off. For real. That just goes without saying. But or don't turn this off, because you know what? Maybe I'll change your mind. How about that? Stick around. I know I've been friends with racists in the past. Not saying that I know, like, consciously, like, oh, you're a racist, come here, I'm gonna be friends with you. I mean, like, people have come out later. People are still in the closet. Who the fuck knows? Anyway, and not to mention their family members. So that got flagged, and here I am 20 days into a 30-day Facebook ban. And then IG did it to me, and I'm a little unsure, because they did flag a comment where I said something not so favorable about police, and if y'all follow me for a long time, you know that I've gone from being very immaturely, adamantly just anti-police across the board to being a much more open-minded, understanding individual, realistic individual who is not a cop sucker, but I will have no problem supporting good people, real motherfuckers who are doing shit for the right reason, and particularly if you standing up against the bad cops, you got my support. There's no question there. But the second you're putting a grandma with dementia breaking her arm, or shooting black people because they're black, or shooting Hispanic people because they're Hispanic, or kneeling on their necks or whatever, choking them to death, you can't get love from me. The exact opposite. That's just how it is. All right. So, why did I say that? Why did I get to that? I was talking about the Facebook ban because I said something anti-racist, which is weird still. And IG flat. Because I'm not 100% sure, because IG is not the same as Facebook. They're owned by Facebook, but the way they work, the way they interact with you is a little bit different. And I have a lot of experience interacting with the back end, because I also pay for advertising, which is another reason it sucks. And I'm damn Facebook jail, because you could pay all you want, but they still don't let you post. I know, right? So you got to have paid for your shit before you got put in Facebook jail, hopefully, and you did everything right and don't need to go back and edit. Don't even get me started with that. Anyway, I'm going to be a lot more careful in the future. I hate saying that, because y'all know that I also mess around on the decentralized web, where there's complete total freedom of speech for real. There's absolutely impossible to be censored. And I love it, and it gets hard to do the self-censorship thing, because I have the freedom to choose not to use Facebook. I've done it before, but in business, particularly within the mainstream scope, it gets a little difficult these days. It gets a little difficult. It's not impossible. As a marketing, someone in marketing and data and all that, boy, do I sound professional. It's not impossible. I won't tell you must use Facebook or Instagram or Nextdoor or Twitter or anything like that, but you must have some combination thereof in your arsenal somewhere, at the very least one of them. I mean, you don't have to use Google. You could use Yelp. You don't have to use, there's a million different ways to do it. Trustpilot's a really good website, and then there's a lot of good, if you're really trying to spend a couple bucks on SEO, there's some good companies out there. It's not hard to do yourself, but I understand why people get paid some decent money to do it, because it's work. And it takes studying before it takes work, because it is well, it's statistics essentially. It's data. Anyway, so I'm going on about so much that I didn't intend to today, because I said I got thrown for a loop, couldn't go live on IG, and so the intention today was to go full on zero waste. I had a little plan for y'all. I had some things, so I'm actually gonna do that here. I'm doing this here on YouTube, and hopefully it goes well. I got 100% on my phone. Well, probably not right this second 100%, and yep. Let's see. The modem is charged. You all have seen this if you've been following along. Seen this before. Our Netgear AT&T, fully unlimited and unthrottled. And at some point we're gonna talk about this, because the other thing is, if y'all need internet, phone, or TV service in your crib or business, HMU. Yeah, for real. So we got that fully charged, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry it with me this time, because usually when I'm on IG Live, I've been noticing that if I walk just a little too far, we're going to walk out of the trailer here, and we're going to be on the Love Rain tiny habitat. I'm going to carry this with me, because I notice sometimes if I walk a little bit too far, the signal gets lost. Oh, as a matter of fact, wow, I just realized something. Y'all bear with me for a moment, because